Star Wars is back stumbling around, wondering what's going on, and it's Lando this time who's leading the way. Donald Glover, who you may not have heard of in a very long time, he seems to think that there's a solo Star Wars spin-off on the way, a big movie. It's a surprise to us, it's a surprise to you. And Kathleen Kennedy, we're warning you, how much worse can it possibly get? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we are changing hearts and minds, pulling Holly Weird to the middle, the sensible center where money can be made. They hate it, but we're doing it for their own good. Just a spoonful of sensibility makes the money rain down. Folks, today we're talking about Star Wars. We're talking about Donald Glover, and perhaps a return to those crazy solo Star Wars stories. As if the High Republic wasn't bad enough. Folks, you can help us send this video out, though. As we get ready to bring on the panel, click that like button, and here we go. Here we go. This is by Ryan Dinsdale. It's out of IGN, just when you thought it couldn't get any worse for Disney. And you know what? The sun will come out tomorrow. There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow waiting at the end of every day. There are some good Disney stories on the way, just not many. Donald Glover thinks Star Wars has become a little too serious, wants to make Lando fun. It's the price you pay for being successful. Let me just say that again. It's the price you pay for being successful. Star Wars, successful. Let me read this, and I'm going to tell you what the interesting angle is about all of it. Lando star Donald Glover thinks Star Wars has become a little too serious and wants to bring fun back to the galaxy far, far away. Glover told the Wall Street Journal he believes Star Wars needs to be fun and suggested recent films. I don't know what those are. There's been a recent film? Someone call me and let me know what that was. Have veered away from that. He wants to use his character Lando Calrissian's status as a scoundrel to create a fun film that people can relate to. I just wanted to be fun, Glover said when asked what one thing he wants to bring to Lando, which was originally announced as a Star Wars story spin-off show, but is now being developed as a movie. Now, guys, this is news to me, and I cover this every single day. I spend large amounts of time. This is my job. This is news to me that this is still in development. So that is amazing, one. But here's why it's amazing. Get ready, okay? So he says, as a Star Wars fan myself, I think it's important that there needs to be fun being had. It's very hard to have fun right now. It's tough because there are very serious things happening, and those are the only things that connect us weirdly. Folks, there have always been hard things going on in the world. Deal with it. So I get why things are serious, but part of the human experience, I believe, is we have a responsibility to have enjoyment. And I just feel like we're lacking in that department. Star Wars, I love it, but sometimes it can be super serious. Super serial even. Sometimes it be like way too serious. Did they seriously write it that way?
So he's saying it's tough to be happy because there's such terrible things happening. Vietnam happened. And people were still doing like happy-go-lucky like television shows during the time. So
if I'm not mistaken, Miracle on 34th Street came out just after the end of A Horrible Thing. Anyway.
Yeah. Yes.
But did they seriously write this? Sometimes it be like way too serious.
Yeah. Well,
everything that has to do with the Skywalkers is like so serious.
But he also said that.
Did you hear that? Everything that has to do with the Skywalkers is the problem with Star Wars? I'm sorry, there were no Skywalkers in The Acolyte. There were no Skywalkers in Endor. There were no Skywalkers in other than Luke. I mean, essentially, there's no Skywalkers in the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, okay. Rinse of soybeans is an abomination. But look.
But they're trying to distance themselves from the George Lucas stuff here and try to say, oh, it's all that George Lucas stuff that's the problem. We need to get away from that Skywalker era. This to me is propaganda trying to say.
Well, get ready because I'm going to tell you how desperately pathetic this is. Culture, what was your thought before we move to that?
You do realize A, this is IGN.
Yes.
And B,
we're one step above Rolling Stone and not by much.
They don't even know what this is. They can't tell you the difference between whether this is a show or a movie.
Well, they can't tell you what it means to actively be worked upon. Ready for this? Lando has no release date. Oh, really? Go figure. This thing was told to us back in 2017, and we haven't heard a thing about it. This has been in development for 7 years with nada, zip, not a single thing, zilch. Okay, and you know what it means to be in active development now? Let me tell you what it means to be in active development now. Glover mentioned previously in the interview that he and his brother Steven meet up to talk about it. They go to Subway. They go to the Waffle House. And for 5 minutes, they talk about Star Wars. So it's actively in development. And look, the project has otherwise fallen in and out of obscurity. No, it hasn't. It's only been in obscurity because it's not actually in development. Since it was first teased in 2018. And you know what? If it was teased in 2018, then it had to have been given the go-ahead in 2017. And you know what? That's 7 years of absolutely nothing. And I'm telling you right now, Donald Glover must be absolutely so desperate to pretend like he's making a movie that we all know is not going to be made. There's no way this is going to be made, but he and his brother meet at Burger King twice a year to talk about it. So it's in development. Lauren, I'm going to give it to you. Are you looking forward to more droid loving?
Wow.
I'm going to be weirdly the optimist on this story.
We need that in this world, Lauren. That's why we're giving you the charity stream.
Because I think, do I think it's going to be made? Probably not. Did I like Donald Glover's portrayal of Lando? Yes, I did.
This is why you're a bearded angel. Continue on.
Outside of the stuff with L3. Now, there's lots of ways you can interpret what he said. I don't think he's wrong to say that we do need fun in Star Wars. I don't think we've had fun in Star Wars for a long, long time. So if you take that statement at face value, he ain't wrong.
What makes it not fun, though, Lauren?
Well,
is it the Skywalkers, or what is it? What makes it not fun? Why are we not having fun with Star Wars anymore?
Is it the lesbian space witches?
I'm also not going to disagree with him that the Skywalkers have become radioactive. I don't know that there's a way that you can deal with the Skywalkers that's going to please the entire fan base. That doesn't mean I think you should get away from them. But
well, we've still got almost 800 people in the audience, and 600 of them are now singing radioactive in their head. And it's all your fault. Continue on.
All I'm saying is that I think that they are in a very bad place, and I think a good place to start would be, let's just make something fun. Now, in my defense, or as a detraction against me, I guess, depending on how you feel, I did like Solo. I liked Solo. I understand it's a bad movie, but it's a bad movie that I personally enjoyed, and I would have liked to have seen a continuation of it, especially if they were doing something in the corporate sector. And I think that that's fertile ground to have both Han and Lando return. Do I think that's what they do? No, not necessarily. I would be interested to see how would Donald handle this. If he wanted to do a solo Lando story, I mean, solo as in just Lando, not with Han, and do swinging adventures where he's in discotheques and partying and gambling and having a good time.
I think
that could be fun.
The word swinging in that one.
Right. But what I'm saying is that if you're just showing him being a Billy D. Williams style character, having fun and having adventures in the Star Wars universe without being too serious and without going too jokey, I'd be up for that. But there's a real delicate balance you have to walk to hit that tone that you need to hit. I'm not necessarily confident that he could pull that off.
How's this one for you, though? If Star Wars was a very successful franchise right now, then you could probably do a quirky, strange, spin-off kind of movie. They can't hardly get the Mandalorian movie out there. Mm-hmm. Yep. They can't get the Rey movie done. And we're going to do some sort of, Austin Powers style Lando film.
I wouldn't go that far. That's not exactly what I'm suggesting. But I think that you could do maybe something that is before Solo, where you see Lando in his Millennium Falcon, having some gambling adventures and getting in trouble with various crime lords and having some fun. I think there's ways you could do that. Doesn't have to be a giant. One of the big problems with Star Wars is that they keep trying to make these giant epic stories when really Star Wars is about the characters. So you focus on the characters, you can tell a small story that has big stakes for the characters, and I think an audience buys into that. That's where I think they're running into trouble, is they don't know how to hit the tone, and they don't understand what makes the audience hook in. They think it's all the spectacle. It's really about the characters. So if you nail the characters, and if you do them right, the rest will follow.
Darn it, Lauren, you're making me agree with you. I need to get a counter position to help me pull back to the other side of this. Marvin, in your days as a discount fortune teller, you had an accuracy that was slightly approximating 50%. What do you say in regards to the chances of a Lando Calrissian movie starring Donald Glover actually happening might be? What do you think?
It's a 0.0 chance. I think the way that you could have done this show, and by the way, I do agree with everything Lauren just said, but I think the way to do this show would have been to have it be Donald Glover and Billy D. Williams, and to do kind of like an Arrow style storyline where you have a present day story and a past story that you go back and forth between that feeds into each other, like a mystery that had to be solved when he was a young man that comes back when he's an old man. And that would have been a really great way to do it, to do justice to the character. But just Billy D. Williams, just Billy D. Williams would be wonderful, but just Donald Glover, I don't think it would work, especially with, we've learned what his idea of fun in Star Wars is. It was Feebot Waller Bridge. And nobody needs that.
You can't blame that on Donald. He didn't write that script. He was just doing what he was given in the script. The other thing that I would say is that older versus younger dynamic was already done in the Last Shot novel by Daniel Jose Older, and it was awful. It was some of the worst Star Wars fiction I've ever read in my life. Now, I don't think that they would adapt that. I sure hope they wouldn't, but
don't give them ideas, Lauren.
It's already been done. So I think that if you tried to do something like that, they just call it probably an inferior knockoff.
And folks, we've come to the end yet again. Another video of pure excellence in the can. Why is it excellent, you ask? Well, folks, it's because you were with us. Spending time with you is an honor, a privilege, and an attitude of gratitude is here every time you click a video. Folks, we would really appreciate if you could spend the time to click that like button, share, subscribe, and folks, don't forget, drop a comment down below. Join a community dialogue. You can also share this out on your favorite social media platforms. Folks, until the next time we have the honor of spending time with you, we only ask that you keep learning, keep growing, and keep, of course, having fun.